We will be there.
I can place a link while give the word to Helene. I'll place the link to for your session, or if you want, you do it. But yeah, okay, Helene.
Hello, this is Helena from Oslo. I've just thrown in some photos into the mural thing under the Kaboom logo. There are 9 new photos, so you can find it if you're in the mural. Because there's this great initiative by the city of Oslo in one of the downtown streets of Oslo, where they've not just eliminated parking spaces, but entire, like, just eliminated traffic and put in actual parks. So what you see in these 9 photos underneath the Kaboom logo so they put in parks. They've had a very close discussion with all the local businesses ahead because this is a pilot. Some of the restaurants got outdoor serving, the ones that wanted to, but the most popular ones have been actually the fruit and vegetable shops that have gained a lot of extra market space, and it's made the entire area more attractive. Like it's taken the essence of that area and just magnified it, and it's become a tourist attraction, and people are just loving that change. It's yeah, like I cannot brag enough about the city of Oslo and how they've actually dared to do this. They're doing it as a pilot, so it's sort of like a semi-permanent thing. They will do it only until mid-October, and then we'll have a lot of evaluations. But this far, everyone's I mean, there used to be a taxi stand there, a parking place for taxis there that had to move 100 meters. And there's, you know, always, you can always, if you look really hard, you can find one neighbor complaining. But overall, it's been a fantastic project. So yeah, from parklet to actual park and park vegetation and
incredible.
Urban nature. I'm yeah, like I ride my bike through it and I feel like I'm riding into the future. It's amazing. It's like, yes, this is what we've been talking about all along. This is what it should be like.
Yeah.
So
that's absolutely amazing. And
yeah.
Are the planting areas, are those basically planters, or are any of the green spaces connected into soil or infiltrating, or it's mostly temporary now?
No, it's temporary, so it's on ground. Also because once you start digging in the city, it becomes complicated. There's just so much infrastructure underneath. But even the way it's laid out now, it will still manage to handle quite a lot of rain, which is usually our problem much more than drought, is that we need to manage our rainwater. So and they brought in, like, all the planting is done with native plants, so it's a great addition to facilitate local pollinators and local biodiversity as well.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I love. I cannot brag enough about it. So please take inspiration from this, and please tell your cities to do something similar.
What's been the response of small businesses? Have they been in support or concerned about giving up the vehicle access or parking, or a balance?
They've been heavily involved in the design phase of it, and then they've managed to connect to a couple of local spokespersons that have been very vocal about their support. So thanks to that, it's been, no local businesses have said anything negative about it. And they're all experiencing an increase in businesses. Increase in business. The local restaurant now has, the local Punjabi Indian restaurant that faces this now has an outdoor patio that can seat, I think, 50 people. So they say it's great for business. The vegetable stores are super happy because they can have more fruits and veggies on display, and they sell more. And it's amazing.
I have one question for you, Helen, because I think some people in this group have maybe the similar question, is what happens with those parking lots that have been gone? Because in a lot of cities, parking lots in downtown generate quite revenue. What is, let's say, the win-win situation for the parking for the parking company of the city, let's say, how do they balance their sheets? Do you have any idea on that?
I have no idea. But the funny part about it is that like we can't really do parking day in Oslo anymore because any downtown crowded street will not have any parking left. Like the only parking will be handicapped and like for transporting goods to stores, etc., like service parking. So we would need to look hard to find an appropriate parking space actually that we could set up.
Is there parking on the periphery of the downtown, structured parking, or is it people take public transit now, or how are you solving the kind of mobility and access question?
From what I'm not an expert on mobility data of Oslo, but from what I hear, what's quite unique about Oslo is how much we walk.
Yeah.
So downtown is very walkable, and sort of not only downtown, but the inner section of the city. People happily walk 40 minutes to work, for example, because it gives them the daily exercise, 40 minutes each way. And I don't think that would happen in the US, for example, happily walking 40 minutes to work.
We'll happily drive 40 minutes.
But they will happily drive 40 minutes.
That's the fascinating part of it, isn't it?
Actually, unhappily drive 40 minutes.
It's all about how you mentalize it and what you're used to and what you're how you wrap your day around it. So if this helps you avoid a trip to the gym, then people do it.
Yeah.
It should be the way that I was saying it as a joke, but I think Oslo definitely it's a great example, of course, of having, even for Norwegian context, it's an example for the rest. Although there is a smaller cities like Stavanger, I mean,
the funny part of it is that of course, the Facebook and like social media are full of people being very negative, but they're not the people living in Oslo.
Yes.
So so you're welcome to the street of the future in Oslo anytime.
This really shows as well the commitment that if you have a commitment in a place like if you really want to work towards a goal, of course a lot of excuses we hear very often on the planning side is, oh, the weather, people are not used to like the weather is bad, people are not used to cycle and this and that. Of course it doesn't happen overnight, but that's also the idea of what we're trying to do here, right? That little by little we can change things, and I think if there is commitment, there is no excuses really. I mean,
and I also think like so the city of Oslo has also made tons of mistakes in trying to develop policies for limiting car traffic, and a lot of it has been top down, and that has caused a lot of backlash. But this particular project has been very thorough and they've had very good participatory processes, and they've been really good at adapting the designs and ideas to local businesses in the local context. Also, so it doesn't feel gentrified at all. It feels like they've taken the essence of this neighborhood and just magnified it.
Yeah.
Helene, is there any information from the city side on this you could share? Just curious to hear how they're thinking about it, writing about it, how big of the scale of a pilot program. This would be so useful to share with other cities.
I don't think there's a lot of material published in English yet.
It's okay.
And also because this is a pilot that will be evaluated will be taken up on mid-October.
Right.
But from after that, but also I can try to look for it, and whoever's going to be in Placemaking Week in Pontevedra, hit me up and we can talk Oslo anytime, and I'll try to dig up as much data as possible.
I have seen some materials about presentations, especially about how, Oslo works with sustainable mobility and things like that. I'm not sure if it will be exactly about this topic, but we can also, that's a good point to share here with all of you guys as well, is that this mural, and I think Monica typed it in, it will be accessible for after the session and from now on until the parking day experiments and so on. The idea is that we really co-create this together and share experiences. So, even if you have questions, just drag them in. Monica and like we will do the best to moderate this as well in terms of how things are flowing, so it's easier to navigate. But the idea is indeed that we can share experiences and ideas and also tools that we can work with. I think, this is just the beginning. I think we are already out of time, but basically, if you're part of this cohort already, you'll be receiving emails about our next meeting, which will be next Friday, when we'll speak a little bit more about examples and like practicalities around these examples, how we can realize them and so on. So ideally, you can do your own experiment. And again, a very important thing here is that you should not get discouraged, because of course we have these great examples, but the logic of these cycles is really to just even do small things. I don't think we should be scared. You should be scared of doing that. So just follow up, and hopefully you'll get inspired and you cannot stand not doing anything. but yeah,
Wow.
that's it.
Really impressive. Thank you so much, Todor, and everyone. What an amazing session.
Yeah, thank you for joining, John, and hope to see you next week. And just before leaving, I would like to also give you a little bit of a push as well, in that sense, like whoever wrote this, any of these statements there, like as a homework, so to speak, we would like to encourage you to find 5 more people in your local context that are useful, like that are also advocating this or seeking for confronting this challenge. So try to do that, and let's catch up next Friday. If you have 5 people already, try to find another 5. It doesn't matter. It never stops. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Hope to see you next week, and have a great weekend.
Yes, you
have a recording
too.
of this as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.